First of all, tell me your name and what you do for FMC.
So I'm Scott Swanson. I'm a field development rep for Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Wisconsin.
Well, we want to talk about herbicide modes of action that FMC is working on. Let's start out just telling me, how are these new modes of action so important to your customers and growers today?
So I think, obviously, we haven't had a new mode of action with herbicides in 30 years. So adding another tool to the tool belt is a really big deal for us. Just trying to give our growers the best opportunity to fight things like weed resistance, the best way that we can possibly do it, giving them new solutions. Advancing chemistry to advance agriculture is kind of what we're doing here.
So you have some of these new products already in trials, I guess, and the research that you're doing. How are they looking? I mean, how are these things looking as far as how well they'll perform? So
we have several different compounds that we're working on right now. The first new mode of action is a rice compound, and we're looking to control some of the harder to control grass species in rice. That new mode of action, we're targeting the mid-2020s on that particular compound. We have another new mode of action that right now we're targeting the late 2020s. We have a long ways to go, but it's corn and soybeans, targeting some of the more difficult to control broadleaf species. We're pretty excited about that broad spectrum herbicide that we're working on right now, really trying to nail down some of the uses, some of the crops that we can use. And we also have a new mode of action that we're working on that we're kind of targeting it in between those two timings, after the rice compound but before the other corn and soy compound. And that would really target the amaranth species. And as you know, with the difficulties we have controlling resistance with the amaranth species, that's a pretty big piece to what we're doing here, going forward.
Well, assuming that all goes well, how are these going to really benefit growers when they are available?
So I think when you're talking about a new herbicide, whether it's a new chemistry or an existing chemistry, you're really adding to the tool belt here. There's no silver bullet. We gotta use these chemistries smartly, trying to fight things like resistance with a stewardship type approach. So we're just trying to figure out the best way to use that, kind of going forward. So we've got a lot to learn with some of these new chemistries, but we're pretty happy to have something that can provide a new way to control some of these difficult to control species.
Well, I mean, for your customers, for growers out there, it's good for them to know and that there's something new coming that's going to, because really that's not that long a time in the scheme of things.
Right.
Everybody wants an immediate fix, but this research takes time, and we want to make sure that everything is done appropriately and that it's going to work. It's really the key. So, well, thank you very much, Scott, for visiting with me here from this Ag Media Summit. I'm Chuck Zimmerman.